Hey guys, I'm gonna do a quick demo of how to put your saw blade in your saw frame and cut some metal. So we've got our little saw frame. I've got my 3/0 saw blade. Now, what I'm doing is I'm checking to see, the saw blades packs. They come in packs of 12. They look like this. It's got this cute little coil of wire around it, so you're just gonna have to pull one side and roll it off. And then you've got your little bundle of saw blades. So this is just one saw blade. And we've got 4 sides to it. You've got the front, which is where the teeth are, the 2 sides, and then the back. So in the front, I don't know if you guys can see, haha, you can see the little teeth. So they're pointing in the right direction, which is downward, right? So like a pine tree where the needles go down, or a cat claw that hooks this way. If you don't have great eyes, or you're just being kind of lazy visually, which it's very small, you can just run your finger or rub it up against like your shirt or your apron, and you will feel it catch on the cloth. But if it was the wrong way, it'll just run down, like similar to a razor, like a shaving razor blade. So it's in the right direction. I want the teeth to be pointed down and out, and I'm going to tighten it on my saw frame. So the saw frame has 3 points where you can where you have a wing nut, basically. So you've got one here and here, which is where your saw blade is going to connect to, and then you've got this back here, which when you loosen it, you can adjust according to the length of your saw blade. Now I like to keep it, because I'll snug up my saw blade all the way up to the top here, and then I like it so it's basically barely grazing, because when I tighten it, you have to apply all that pressure. It's gonna pull back to like halfway, so it'll look more like that when you grip it. Focus, yes. So like halfway there. So how you're gonna do that is, let's see, you're gonna push your saw frame, that end. You can do it on a table surface too, but if you've got like a nice table that you don't want to mar up, you can push it up against the center of your bench pin. And I like to just push my chest up against the handle, which my hand is holding onto, because you can do it this way, where you just push your saw frame handle up against your sternum, but I don't like it. It hurts me. So I'm a bit of a wimp, I guess. So I'm gonna apply lots of pressure, pushing down, and put that in there, tighten it up. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but now you've got a beautiful musical instrument. There shouldn't be a lot of slack. You don't have to do this to check, but I'm just showing you how tight it should be. And then we're going to take our piece of metal and we're going to start sawing. So this is a sample piece, basically what I'm going to have you guys work on. So we'll do the centerpiece because that'll be easier. Let's see, can I adjust camera? Okay. So this V is used to basically protect your fingers and to support your metal simultaneously, right? So always you want to keep your fingers on the wood, not inside the V, because if you bust through your metal, there's nothing protecting your finger from getting cut. So if it's behind the wood, the saw blade is going to catch into the V and your fingers will be fine. So remember that. I'm going to take my blade and I'm going to take my beeswax and I'm going to lubricate the back of the blade, not the front. I think people want to do the front, but if you do, you'll clog up all of your teeth. So the rubbing it up against the back will lubricate both sides, which is basically what you want to do. Okay, so we're going to take that. I'm going to start cutting and follow that line. Nice long even strokes, and then when I get to the corner of that kind of step, I'm going to move my saw blade up and down in short strokes while I rotate my metal. I'm not really turning my saw frame, I'm mostly turning the metal, and so I'm actually creating a cut that's basically a corner cut by doing that. Now, if you are turning your metal too fast and your saw blade gets stuck and it won't move up and down, it's basically because you've moved it too fast and now your saw blade is wedged. So then back off the other way and then start again. So here, I have to continue cutting. So I really want both sides of my metal piece to be supported on that V. Sometimes you're gonna, there are just circumstances where you have to cut over to only one side. It makes it harder, so try to avoid it if you can. So again, I've got this corner, so I'm moving up and down. Back up. I didn't do a very good job drawing these lines, so the lines themselves are really crooked. Oops. That's okay. It's just practice. So I can feel that my saw blade it just feels like it's rubbing a lot. So I'm going to lube it up again with my beeswax. That actually makes turning it and cutting a lot easier. Okay, so when I release it, you can kind of see that it wanted to bounce back. Don't do that with a big piece because it will just snap your blade. I've been using this now for a lot of things, this saw blade, so it's really starting to dull. When your blade starts to dull, it's just going to get harder to cut and your cuts are going to be less precise. So if you get really good at cutting, and your blade dulls before it breaks, switch it out. Yeah, you can really see, because I don't think you can tell in the video, but I have to really turn my frame to cut straight. Okay, so I'm done with my sample staircase, so I'm just gonna undo that, and you can see how like deformed my saw blade really got during that whole process. It's no longer straight, so I'm actually gonna toss this because I've been using it for a lot of other things. And then I've got my little cut. Woohoo! This on your metal is just like a protective contact paper, so you can just peel it off. But yeah, that's basically it. As far as piercing goes, when you thread your metal, we'll use a different one. Remember to not just toss your saw blades in the trash can. Checking. You know, wrap it up in paper and tape, or put it in a jar and throw it away altogether at a different time, because you can hurt yourself. So, okay, this is like a little bit awkward in front of the camera. I'm going to tighten that up so we can back it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take this thing, which I was piercing, and I'm going to thread it in this spot, one of the holes that I need to cut a negative out of. And then I'm going to push it all the way up to the end. Actually, I'm going to lower this just a little bit. Should make everything a little easier. Okay, there we go. Okay. Should still be able to hear like the little ping, ping, ping. And then from here, now I'm in there, I can start cutting the metal on the inside. Right? I'm gonna lube up again. Oh yeah, so much better. So for these like little tiny curves, I am moving my saw frame around, but for larger curves, I am moving the metal around as well. So it's kind of a little dance between the two. So, I'm gonna pop it out. Now let's say I broke my blade right now. If I wanna go back to that cut here, then I would have to walk my blade back all the way back up there. So, yeah, but that's basically it. Easy peasy. When your frame is at rest and you're not in the studio and you don't want, or you're not working with your saw frame, loosen up one side. I usually do the bottom, just to keep it nice and loose. because that tension will eventually, you know, wear on your saw frame. So just loosen it, and then it can rest like this. That's the best way to take care of your tool. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.